Informative.
Hello, I'm Tana Informative, and I am a waitress at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor and Restaurants, if you did not know. One of my biggest pet peeves that actually happened the other night. 20 girls came in after church. They all ordered shakes, and shakes are actually the longest item to make on the menu. They all ordered shakes. It was the middle of a restaurant rush, which is about 7 to 8:30, and they all wanted separate checks, and they all paid with cash. Like, as you guys probably never know because you wouldn't serve, but it was one of the most difficult tables. So today, I want to share with you the unknown facts of working in the restaurant industry. I'll broaden your knowledge on what your waiter or waitress is going through financially, emotionally, physically. Just because they ask if you want another Coke doesn't mean they really want to get it for you. A full-service restaurant is lively and full of energy, but that ongoing energy is supplied by the servers. It can cause physical and emotional strains. That job that kept you on your feet the entire night. And it's not just walking from table to table asking how you're doing. It's briskly moving through trying to make sure everyone's satisfied. You're carrying heavy plates and trays full of drinks, and it's not just 2 drinks or 2 plates. It's full on 8 trays, because the less trips you take, the more time you have to make sure everyone's accounted for. Servers do make mistakes from time to time, but it's completely out of their control. The hostesses, the cooks, the runners, the managers, a guest that has a problem at another table, you just never know. But of course, servers are the first line of defense. They must take a brutal beating from an aggravated customer. A party, or even just one customer, can completely diminish the server's attitude. A strong server can brush it off and move on to the next, but servers are people too, and customers don't always know what's going on in the server's life, like their personal life around them or what's happening in the restaurant. You just never know. But it's the server's job to treat every table with the best attitude and just keep their personality going. But the lively environment can help you take your mind off things in your personal life, with the constant flows of new customers coming in and out. There's just so many people, so many things going on. But servers do. We meet so many people on a short period of time. So our people skills are well trained, our personalities are sometimes out of control, and we're typically very energetic and friendly. So making friends with your coworkers is quite easy. And they're the ones that understand your pet peeves and frustrating situations customers can cause on a daily basis. So you want a good server? Be a good customer. Understandable, people come into restaurants because they want to be served. They have a lot going on in their own personal lives, and they don't want to worry about cooking, cleaning, entertainment, so that leaves it all up to us, the servers. So pretty much, you're paying for us to be your personal slave. That may be an exaggeration, but sometimes that's how people do it. And that's it. Oh, I thought you were raising your hand. So tips are the light at the end of the tunnel. When people are treating us like personal slave, I just see a party of 16 walking into my section, and I'm just thinking, oh, that 15% tip at the end of the night is what keeps me going. Of course, the tip amount varies depending on what caliber restaurant you work in. Whether it's the Summit House restaurant or Chili's, walking out with hard cash is one of the best parts of the job. According to BLS, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, servers' annual income, depending on where you work and how you work, sometimes range around $20,000 to $30,000 a year, including tips. If you do the math, a server works 5 hours with $8 an hour. That's minimum wage. So that's $40. But then you add the $100 in tips at the end of 5 hours, that's $20 an hour. So not bad for a part-time job for a college student. And serving is one of the top part-time jobs for college students. Although 13.4% of servers already have a bachelor's degree, and it's easy to get financially stable with this job because you always have cash walking out the door. But where are you going to be when you're 40 taking care of 2 kids, working long shifts till midnight, and trying to wake your kids up the next morning? I don't have kids, I'm just saying. Speaking of college, if you're an environmental studies major, do not work in a restaurant, ever. The amount of paper, food, and all different kinds of trash restaurants throw away at the end of the night is quite disturbing. It's hard for restaurants, especially chain restaurants, to save food by reusing it the next night or creating a special or promotion because of the lack of flexibility in the menu. You see a perfectly fine burger being thrown out because the customer wasn't that hungry. It's very upsetting. Servers take the food and they take away the leftover food. And usually there's not that big of a difference in what they ate and what they didn't, because they're saving room for dessert. At least in my restaurant, that's how it works. But consistency is key in restaurants, and customers come back because they're pretty sure of what they'll experience when they go in. Posted on a food service blog, food suffering in taste or looks will be thrown out. That's true. If you order a burger, you expect it the same every time. So if something's wrong, you've got to throw that out and make a new one. But it's not only food being wasted. Water is like air in a restaurant industry. The dishwasher is constantly being run, waters are brought to the table and not even touched. A bad habit of servers is putting a lot of ice in soft drinks. It's lighter to carry, and it's actually less to drink in the glass for us to provide. But where does the ice go? Down the drain. Plastic straws, napkins, and doily plates to make your plates and food a little more presentable just go straight in the trash. And receipts are printed. There's 4 receipts for every table. It's not okay. So those just add up to the restaurant's mass waste. Today you learned about the secret life of your server. The financial, emotional, physical, psychological aspects of their life. And just remember, nice people that aren't nice to their servers aren't nice people. And people do this thing. So we have a glass, and people, this is a little thing I found on Tumblr if you guys have a blog. And then they say there's like levels of your drink. So if you're right here, the waiter's probably, at your table chatting, you just brought it. They're right here, they've probably been gone for a while waiting on your food to come out. If they're right over here or down here, they're on frickin' Pluto. And that's not even a planet anymore. In my restaurant, we do about, 35 birthdays a night. So if your drink is down here, you better just calm it down, because I'm probably drumming for 7 different birthdays at a time. So yeah, if your drink's right there, just calm it down. Thank you. I'm sorry. It's okay.
All right, Christian, what did you think?
I thought the intro was pretty good because it kind of did capture your attention and give us like a kind of an intro of what's good going to be about. I think she had good emotions and communication with the audience. I believe that the middle of the body of the speech, I think it was lacking transitions and words that broke up the sections, and the visual, I thought the visual was pretty good because she was able to explain it and refer it back to her speech. In the conclusion, it wasn't too straightforward. But
Okay. Well, I'm going to agree with you about 80% of what you said. I think that I like the attention device. You set up what your goal was pretty clearly. There's really only one section in the speech where there's any research, and that's all the stuff on employment issues, and you talk about the tips and the percentage of people who have bachelor's degrees and that sort of thing. So it sounds like you've got some information there, but everything else is based on personal experience. And I'm not saying that the personal experience couldn't be useful, but I think it ought to be a supplement to the content instead of making up the whole content, because it sounds a little bit like it's a personal gripe session instead of informative presentation as a consequence. I have to agree with Christian about the transitions. I thought that you had a setup at the beginning. There was a pretty good preview, but in the body of the speech, I didn't really hear any of the signposts that you were moving from one idea to the next. I mostly knew it because I was paying attention to the content, and I think it needs to be a little bit clearer to help an audience follow the presentation. And I'd also agree with him about the conclusion. It really feels like you have an anticlimactic conclusion because it's happening after you've done this visual reference, which really feels like it's outside of the speech to begin with. So it doesn't feel like it's very well planned, and instead of leaving us with a good impression of the speech, it gives it a much weaker impression. The visual, this is the place that Christian and I are going to disagree on, because he kind of liked it. Look, the image I like the idea of, but drawing on the